Welcome everyone to another episode of For the Want of a Nail, where I try and take some of the things I've learned, some of the things I've seen, things people have taught me, and share it with everyone so we can all be a little more resilient. We all have a little more option in our day-to-day, and in the end, we can all be a little more prepared for whatever life is throwing at us. So today I'm going to talk about something fairly simple, but over the years I have found exceptionally useful. Total, I've probably carried either this or something very similar to this for 5+ years in my bag, and it's come through clutch quite a few times. So what it is it's very similar if you've ever seen an old juggle line from the military where it's a piece of webbing, except this is a piece of 550 cord. It's about 15 feet of 550 cord with a locking carabiner. And again, it's quite useful for a number of things. I always keep one of these in my backpack. I'll show it the little later in the video how I attach this onto my GoRuck pack for when I'm just traveling around. So the first thing is I want to highlight the cord. This is a newer because this one isn't just 550 cord, it is Titan cord. And if you're not familiar with Titan cord, I actually have a piece of it right here. I'll try and get it close enough so you can actually see. Instead of the standard just 6 pieces on the inside of 550 cord, this has some additions. So there is this one that is a piece of jute, so you can fray that up and use it to start a fire. There's a little better tensile here, the green. You could use this to tie small things. You could use this as fishing line, anything like that. It's pretty useful. And then there is this one that is yellow, and that is a piece of Kevlar line that's in there. So not only do you have the whole 550 cord, but you could gut it pretty quick and not just have the white guts that you can use for a variety of things, but 3 additional pieces, the jute, Kevlar, and fishing line, that you can use for any type of survival. Like you could sew with this if needed. With the Kevlar, you can actually cut through plastic using a friction saw. A lot of different opportunities and options there. So I always say if you're already carrying something, try and make it as useful as you can. And then you'd also still have the outer core. Now that it's gutted, you can still use this if you needed to replace a zipper pull or your boot laces, or just you need to tie something up, you can. So this one is actually 15 feet. I did 2 loops at each end. It's a bowline with a additional little safety stopper knot, and then just burn the end so it doesn't start fraying. I will tell you honestly, I think the carabiner was the most expensive piece of this whole deal. Picked it up at, I think, REI. Just a simple locking carabiner. A little bit weight rated, but I'm not going to tow a car with it. But you don't want to use one of the junky ones that are made of aluminum that you buy for $1. S-biner wouldn't work real well either. You'll see why in a little bit. But I chose for length. This is 15 feet, and it might sound like a lot, but I'll show you when I show how I wrap it up on my backpack and talk about what I use it for, why 15 feet is the perfect amount. So as you can see right there, that's a pretty easy 15 feet of cordage, a locking carabiner. If you don't want to attach it to your pack like I'm going to show you, you can just put a little bit of Velcro wrap on it to keep it all together. This is probably something that 95% of people can find in their garage. So let me get my backpack out and move my camera, and then I'll show you how I attach it to my backpack, and then talk about all the things that I could use this for if needed. All right, so I've got my GR1, which is the main bag I use when I travel and I'm just running about, and this is what I actually carry this 550 cord chunk on. I'll just mention, if you're wondering why the cord pulls are different, I did a different video on that, and I will link it up in the top so you can watch that as well. But for the 550 cord, all I did was use a little bit of one wrap. I attached it to the handle. It's about the width of my hand. Cinch that down, and then the carabiner's locked to that top grab handle as well. I'm still easily able to hold on to it, grab hold of it. stays out of the way, and with the one wrap like this, it doesn't unravel on its own. Now, you might be wondering, what's the point of something like this? Like, yeah, it's really cool. Yay, 550 cord. We can always use it in a bind, and that it is the Titan cord, so it has quite a few other uses. But really, there's about 3 main things I did this for. First and foremost, I use it when I travel to keep my bag from running away. If I'm either at a layover for a long time and I'm like, I'm going to try and lay down or take a nap, unravel it, clip that around one of the chairs at the airport, or maybe if I'm grabbing lunch somewhere, it might be around the table, but it makes it a little safer if someone were to try and run by and grab my bag and run off with it. Yeah, you're going to run off with my bag, but in about 15 feet, the table or the chair that it's attached to is either going to come with it or stop you on your tracks. So it's a little bit of extra security. Because it's longer cord, it's pretty easy for me to actually wrap it around. If I have I'm taking my bag and I've got a little carry-on, I can loop it around my carry-on and kind of keep them all together so my bags aren't all over the place. Now, second, you can easily, if you wanted to, I'm sure if you're military, you've probably used a drag strap for something. Pretty easy to do that. If I ever wanted to, if I was crawling through a smaller area, something like that, or I couldn't wear my bag, I could clip the carabiner onto my belt, crawl through, and then pull my bag over to me. Same thing. If I'm climbing over something or climbing off of something, that's actually why it's about 15 feet. It's about a story. So I don't know about the rest of you, if you've ever climbed over a 11-foot fence with a backpack on, it's not exactly easy. But with this, I could put my bag down, clip the carabiner to my belt, climb up to the top of the fence, pull my bag up to the top, and then lower it down on the other side, and then climb down the other side of the fence. I don't have to have a 45-pound bag on my back the whole time. Same thing, if I was on a second story for something, I could easily lower my bag down and then climb down, and I don't have to try and climb with my bag. Makes things a lot easier. So, and then like I said, if I just need 550 cord, I can always untie it from the carabiner, unravel a little bit, cut it. I mean, I got 15 feet of it. Works more than well enough for anything I need to tie, whether it's replace a bootlace or replace one of these cord pulls, anything like that. It's always a good thing to have, and it's a pretty small package and doesn't cost too much to put together. I think the carabiner is the most expensive part of the whole thing. I am working on trying to find a little better way to put a wrap around this. If I do end up putting something together, I'll definitely share it on the video, but hopefully you found some value in this. If you did, please hit like and stay safe out there and make good decisions.